Okay, let's see how much I can squeeze in before the phone says battery's full. Not battery, storage is full again. I don't know what is up. I cannot stand it. Anyways, the next one, cause of conflict, is selfishness. And it is resolved with repentance and putting on love, since love does not seek its own way. This is probably the primary reason for our conflict, selfishness, because my husband and I are actually very alike. On occasion, there's a differentness conflict, but for the most part, we're so alike and we agree on a lot, mainly most things. And when we don't, he can easily persuade me, and oftentimes I can easily persuade him. But selfishness, our sin, our seeking our own way, is definitely, in my personal experience, our main reason for conflict. And if we were to just die to ourselves and put on love and have self-control, wow, what a difference, It really is amazing. And the Lord has done a great work in my marriage, but I still want to grow in this area, and be even more selfless and humble. And then the third type is righteousness. And she says, like, sometimes this is a cause of conflict, but most of the time it's for the other two. But still, I can think of some occasions where righteousness has been a cause of conflict in our marriage. However, she said that you have to be careful that you're not, like, heaping your law, your standards on your husband when you're coming to him for a righteous reason. I think that has actually been the case when I've had a problem. Not necessarily this is sin, and so we're having a conflict. I don't want you to do this because I don't like it, because I think, they're my standards, not necessarily God's law, and then pushing that on my husband and us having a conflict because of it. That has happened in the past, but anyway, that's so not often. And then the attitudes that we need to have to solve conflict, and goodness, humility. If I only had to say one, humility would be it. Humility, humility, humility. That takes away and knocks out completely all the wanting to be right, having those drawn out conversations to just lay out everything that he did wrong, making him feel really bad for what he did, like rubbing his face in his failures, being unforgiving. Humility would knock all of those out. Being gentle in our voice, having control, not being hard, harsh, or sarcastic, being patient, strengthened with all power according to his glorious might for the attaining of all steadfastness and patience. God teaches us patience one way, through tribulation. And so when we're going through conflict, the Lord is teaching us how to be these things. I mean, also the others, patience and humility and putting on love, self-control. And these things should be evident in our lives if we're believers. It may not happen overnight, but it should be a growing process, and it should be something that we see increasing, and forbearance, bearing with one another. And then just the conclusion is like exactly what the whole chapter covered, I thought it was really good. Just differentness, considering his desire more important than your own, being loving and patient with him, forbearing. Selfishness is repenting. If your husband's the one that's guilty of selfishness, gently, patiently reprove him, and be patient. Let the Spirit work. You're not the Spirit. And then if it's righteousness, do not sin, but go to your husband, with your husband, to the Bible to determine God's will. And that's, in a nutshell, pretty much everything she covered here. And I think humility and love and grace is the hugest things I can say about conflict. Seeking peace and unity, not seeking being right, not seeking winning the argument, not seeking anything but reconciliation, will put you in a very good place. So I hope you liked the chapter. Let me know what you thought.